Hello, I'm Madeleine Bennett, editor of the INQUIRER, and I'm here at Cisco House today with Neil Crockett, Managing Director for London 2012 at Cisco. Hi Neil, thanks very much for joining us today.
Madeleine, hi.
So can you tell us first of all how Cisco came to be involved in the Olympics and what your role is?
So our role is the sponsor for the network infrastructure in the Olympics and Paralympics, the Paralympics being very important for us, is a big focus for us. And really it started about 3 years ago, and we really decided to go for the sponsorship. It's the first time Cisco's ever been a sponsor in a global sporting event, and we decided that the time was right. It was the right time for us to really become part of the UK in a big way, and it was a real chance for us to provide a platform for our new customer messaging in terms of how the network is really critical to people's business transformation, and also a great way to show our products off in a global showcase.
And what equipment has Cisco provided for the Olympic site?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big network. It's about 80,000 connections. There's over 100 locations. The actual speed of the network's really quite phenomenal. It's actually 60 gigabits per second, and if I put that in other terms, it's like capable of downloading Wikipedia every half second. So it's a very, very powerful network. It's a network that's got lots of wireless access points. It's got a lot of telephony. The telephony's working closely with BT. We're doing a hosted telephony service from their OneCloud service into our telephones. I mean, this is the first Olympics where there's been cloud involved. So we've actually got some cloud services. It's Cisco, WebEx, BT Meet Me. It's the telephony, the hosted telephony service from OneCloud. And also we've got some email security ARM-port that's actually sitting in the cloud as well. But primarily it's about building a reliant, secure, resilient network that actually just doesn't have any problems. And
has Cisco learned any lessons along the way since starting on the Olympics project? And what challenges have you faced?
I mean, there's always lessons, and we're going to be obviously having a book full of lessons afterwards. But in terms of big things, no. As I say, it's not untypical in terms of a mission-critical network for us. And the great news is we're part of a technology ecosystem for the games, which includes Atos and British Telecom. And we've been working very, very closely together and using each other's experiences. There's nothing major I could say we've learned. I mean, to give you an example of the extent of our work together, the network itself will be tested 200,000 hours before the game starts. So this will be pretty tested and pretty robust by the time we get there.
Is the UK infrastructure well equipped to deal with the Olympics?
Great question. I mean, obviously, there's some new challenges. Video as the application is the big challenge, whether it's high definition broadcast, which is everything's high definition at the games, or whether it's personal broadcasters who are recording and broadcasting some amazing moments they're going to have. I think there's been a lot of work done on this, a lot of thinking put into it. And I think, by and large, I think London was pretty good before we started, and I think we've made it a lot more, not we, but the ecosystem involved in this has made it pretty robust.
For London-based businesses, obviously there's going to be challenges around their staff making it into the office and productivity levels being decreased. Has Cisco had many of these concerns raised by its customers, and what have you been doing as a firm?
Cisco is massively mobile in terms of its workforce, whether it's wherever they work and whatever device they're on. So we're pretty into that. I mean, we save about nearly $1 billion a year, we believe, in cost, and several 100,000 tons of carbon a year in terms of flexible working. But for a lot of people, it's a concept that they've played with, but I think the games is really making that sort of compelling event, which a lot of people are seeing. And we're going to have over 100 days of extraordinary operations in transport in London alone. So I think a lot of people are thinking about how they navigate that. So I think it's a compelling event that will accelerate that move to flexible working.
And how has Cisco been supporting LOCOG as an organisation during the Olympics period?
We've been using a lot of our technologies like WebEx Meet Me, which is the BT Meet Me service, has been underpinning the way they collaborate inside. I mean, what they do is they break into different venues now, and they've got to keep tight as an organisation as they grow. And the other thing we're providing is show and share. It's a video-based tool that we have, which LOCOG call Knowledge on Demand, which really helps as new people come in, their executives can push, SEBCO can push video down, which is accessible by people coming in, so they get the feeling of the culture. Seeing is believing, and using video is really a fantastic tool for them.
So with all the technology development and work that's gone into supporting the Olympics project, do you think this will have any long-lasting benefit for London and the wider UK in terms of technology innovation?
In this country, we have a big shortage of skills, particularly science, technology, engineering and maths skills. We're about 100,000 people short in terms of a skills base. So we're launching a series of programs in schools and in network academies in East London to really try and do something to help that balance over the next 5 years. And we're doing a set of programs which we call the British Innovation Gateway, which is really about discovering and mentoring and supporting the next generation of British entrepreneurs and startups in the digital sector. So we think this combination of skills and innovation, we can make the inspiration of the games an inspiration for the digital sector and its growth over the next 5 years. So that's a huge part of what we're doing, and it's a huge focus in our messaging. And we think whenever the Paralympics closing ceremony is over, that's really when the work starts in terms of the legacy of the inspiration of the games.
Thanks very much for joining us today, Neil.
Okay, thank you.